Welcome to the Everwake. If you're new here, this hourglass flips once a month. My friend Viking and I share this world, and when that hourglass flips, one of us goes to sleep and the other wakes up. So we basically never get to have a face-to-face conversation, which makes sharing a world kinda complicated. It's good to be awake again in the Everwake. I am literally just waking up, so let's have a look around, see what Viking's been up to. Is the man in his room? Yes, he is. See you later, nerd. Josh's key. Key to what? All right, well that's a little ominous. Anything going on in the World Forge? It does not seem so. Well, moving on. Well, maybe Viking's journal will shed some light on what he's been up to this month. Time to build our faces. Wait, build our faces and also maybe get some armor trims. Build our faces? We need more emerald production in this world. I'm going to employ more villagers. There are a lot of empty beds in Blue Haven. I hope Josh finds his key. It's super important, but I wonder what it's for. Yeah, me too, dude. Me too. Well, mayhaps we go check out Blue Haven. It sounds like he was over there a lot, which makes a lot of sense because I'm not seeing a whole lot over here. He did mention making a lot more villagers. Oh my. Hi guys. Well, it's awesome to have a lot more villagers. I mean, I don't use them very much, but when you need them, you really need them. So that's pretty awesome. I'm glad he did that. So my train of thought is if he's given me this key and he spent so much time here, maybe this key activates something around here. All right, I looked around for a while, couldn't find anything. I give up. I spent most of this month farming beets, but that gives me an opportunity to work on some chores that have been building up around here for several months. And I think in order to explain what we're gonna do, it's time we go back to something we haven't used in a very long time. Do you remember when I built this to-do list in like episode 2? Yeah, good times. Never used it again, but today we're using it. Firstly, I want to upgrade our storage. I'm getting really tired of organizing it and we're growing fast, so let's get an auto sorter going. I also want to get a super smelter, another thing that will pay dividends in the future. Like at this point, the projects we're doing are so big, just having that smelting capacity will be really helpful. And lastly, we're gonna revisit an old friend. I'll get a little further into the specifics of that later, but it's been something that has been around in Everwake for a very long time and has kind of fallen to the wayside. It's time for it to come back. But first, let's build a storage system. And take a good look through here, because this is the last time it's gonna look anything like this in the bottom floor of the clock tower. We're gonna get very demolition-y here in a second. Time lapse. A good little bit of digging, not too bad. But now that we've got all this space, we actually have to decide what type of storage system we want to use. You'll see I've set up two little demos of the two options we have, right? We have a traditional hopper-based sorting system over here. We have a copper golem-based one here. So we've got our pros and cons, right? Like the hopper-based one, it's fast, it's quiet, but it is very expensive and complicated. Like, I need at least 45 of each item that I'm sorting just for the system to work. Whereas the copper golem based system, it is very slow. If I put a ton of items in here, it will take a very long time to sort out. Also, once you've got a bunch of these guys, it gets pretty dang loud. However, it's cheap and it's simple. And I think we can mitigate most of the problems of this. So I think we are gonna go with the copper golem one, but the thing is, I may end up changing my mind depending on how things go and how much I start getting bulk amounts of items. I don't know, it's an interesting discussion and I hope Mojang thinks about these things. I think they do. I think they've created a good situation for both of these to exist. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble here, so I think it's time that I build my first real copper golem auto sorter. Oh man, I'm excited for that. Let's get to it. Here's where I'm at right now. I've got a lot of chests placed. By the way, that takes so much wood. Oh my god. Around back, I've been going for a very simple design, right? So the idea, copper chest, this is where copper golems will take items from to sort. They will sort it into all of the variety of chests, and if none of these chests contain the item they're trying to sort, this chest over here will be empty, which will sort it into the next chest for these copper golems to sort out. Same on this side, and then I haven't set it up yet, but there is going to be just a miscellaneous dump pile on this side. Maybe I will even make a whole row of them here just to keep things balanced. I'm not quite sure. I've used copper golems a very, very small amount, so I really don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like something's gonna go really wrong. But I think under the circumstances, it'll be best just to build it, see what's wrong with it, and see if we can fix it. So back to work. Well, that took, of course, much longer than I expected, but I've got most of the essentials filtered up. This took so long because I had to go and put an item in each chest to set up as like a filter to make sure they would filter items into the correct chests. It's about time we actually turn this thing on and make sure everything is working right before I start prettying everything up, making it more efficient, all the good stuff. So let's make some copper golems. We've already got a bunch of items in here, so this thing should be off to the races as soon as we get a man in here. Go for it. Okay. And he's filtering, and I do expect this to take a long time, hopefully not an absurdly long time. Ooh, this might take a minute. I think he's having trouble finding stuff. At this rate, this will take a very, very long time to sort. We might have a problem. Right, I have the solution, and the answer was a lot more copper golems. I love that just this once, spamming the thing that was kind of not working actually did make it work better. I've been dumping items en masse, and they're taking a while to sort, so I figure while they're getting it all sorted out, we can start cleaning things up and get this thing more towards its final form. I lied, it's all broken, they must die, I have to rebuild everything. I think it's working. Holy moly, I had to follow a tutorial. I've been working on this for 9 hours. This was supposed to be easier than the hopper method. I have loaded up the remainder of our items into these chests to slowly get sorted into the system. Gonna have to AFK it for a while, and going to also have to continue decorating, but I think the actual storage side of things is done, which it was not there for way longer than expected. So anyways, on with the building. Well, I would say we are just about done in here. You know, we've got just about everything cleaned up. This little stuff's temporary, but everything else, you know, all the little finishing touches and details, the flooring, stairs, got our workstations back here. This will make doing bigger projects much more convenient. Which brings us to number 2 on our list. Let's upgrade our smelting capacity, shall we? So I've only ever built like one super smelter before, and I was kind of experimenting back here just to see if I had a feel for it. So hear me out, right? I also need to fit an enchanting setup somewhere down here, and I was just noticing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is just about the right width to put an enchanting setup maybe on one side, and then we could have our smelter inputs on the other. And maybe we could dig out a chamber down in this area for the actual smelting setup. And this could be kind of like the back workshop area for the storage. I think that makes sense. Oh, this could be a lot of digging if it doesn't work, but hey, let's do it anyway. I've made a good bit of progress. We've got our basic interface here, right? Our fuel, input, output, and it all leads into this spaghetti mess that is a very work in progress. But all of this will feed the different inputs into the work in progress smelter. Now, this is kind of where things started getting a little bit difficult for me in private testing, is just getting things to distribute correctly across the furnaces, but I think I have it figured out now. So the way these normally work, right, you get all your stuff flowing in here, they come into these chests, these mine carts pick up all the stuff, they distribute it by rushing across these. Now, the problem I've been having, right, is that these chests are only collecting like one at a time. They'll go and dump it in the first few and then have none to dump in the rest of them. So what I need to do is make it so these mine carts stay here until these chests are empty. So in theory, what I want is a setup like this, where I've got this comparator detecting this hopper, and if this hopper has anything in it, then this rail turns off. And if it's completely empty, then I want that rail on, which I should be able to do like Well, like that. That works. I just need to turn those on. Okay, now that there's no hopper underneath this, yes, so it is going while there is nothing in here. And then it should stop to load everything up. Right. Now it's... What are we dispensing into this one still? Oh, come on. Okay, this time it's working, and I put a stack of stuff, and you stop, and it is collecting, and once it runs out, it starts moving again, and it should be distributing everything, well, into the fuel slot. Okay, but it should be working. Yes, it is distributing evenly across the hoppers. Excellent. So I just gotta like finish it up, and this should be working. We can actually test it. All right, this thing should be functional. Now to test it, I want some more stone to patch up the ceiling. So I think what we'll do is just test it with a bunch of stone smelting. So put some fuel in, put some cobblestone in, and we wait just a little while. Yep, it is all flowing in, it looks like. Oh yeah, look at that flow now. Oh, that's so much better. Excellent. That is a super smelter done. That should serve our needs very nicely, which means it's time to talk about the old friend. You remember this guy? Mr. Hot Potato here didn't have a lot of screen time, but he's been around since the 2nd month of Everwake. He's over a year old now, and Viking has let him sit here for the last 6 months. So I am gonna do something to make sure Viking never forgets about Mr. Hot Potato over here again. But I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I want you to go watch Viking's video and find out how it all plays out. It should be, entertaining. Entertaining is a word. And that is about all I have time for. To be honest, I had a pretty wild month IRL, and this was already a time extension that Viking and I agreed upon, so it is definitely time for my cycle to come to an end. I already have some plans brewing for next month. We are going to be kicking hard into Everwake in the coming cycles, so I hope you enjoy. Go check out Viking's episode, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye!